today.
They sounded like firecrackers at first.
Two strangers meet during America's deadliest mass shooting.
I remember saying, go, and she's like, I'm not leaving you.
1 year later, their incredible love story in song. Then two stories of everyday people.
The world is your face, and you just put flowers everywhere.
Just wanting to spread a little love.
She said, I don't know how long I'll be around, but we're gonna be friends.
Plus,
low calorie, zero
Chef
fat.
CAT CORA whips up healthy burgers you're gonna love.
Season 2.
Bubbles about to pop.
It is. Woo, thanks, Ben.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Pickler Ben. I appreciate it. All right. Let's talk about my town, New York City.
I love New York.
I know you're a big fan. You rarely get to be a tourist in New York. You're usually performing or doing some kind of work there, right?
Definitely.
But the few times that you are a tourist, Kelly and I have very different experiences. Kelly is this bright, bubbly, wonderful person that everybody wants to talk to. I am not. So you go to New York and you'll go to like a restaurant or bar. And like the last time you went to New York.
Oh, the last time we were there doing press.
Yeah.
I met this sweet couple. First of all, every time I go to the Big Apple, I love saying that.
Like Reese Witherspoon and with Legally Blonde.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I go to New York, I always meet the best people. I made friends with this awesome couple, and they invited me to go to the Rangers and Islanders game.
This is a random couple at a bar.
But every
guys,
time I go to New York, I meet people and I get invited to hang out with them.
Could you imagine?
Just have fun.
Could you imagine that happening
So I'm like
to you?
sitting there on the glass. They had a nice little suite too, and they fed me. I
so-
love New York.
So this is a night. I left Kelly at like 6 p.m. I'm like, all right, good night. I'm going home to my family. Next day, I was like, oh, what'd you do? I expected to hear like, oh, I just had dinner and drink and I went back to sleep at 9. She's like, oh, I went to the Ranger game. I was right up on the glass. I'm like, oh, did you scalp tickets? No, I met these people at the bar and they just invited me with them.
At the hotel.
Look, that never happens to anybody. My experiences in New York is as such. I remember one time I was having the worst day ever. I was walking down the street having the worst day, and I was at the crosswalk and I was waiting for the light to change. And this guy comes up next to me and he is tattered. I mean, he had a lot of drinks and he is just stumbling and he looks awful, dirty, really messed up. And I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden he goes, "You're almost as ugly as I am."
He did not.
So our experiences are quite different.
You should have come with me to the Rangers game.
Now, if you've been to New York City recently, you may have noticed these gorgeous flower installations in the most unlikely places.
Here's one at the subway.
Awesome.
So beautiful. Here's the construction site.
So nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
And this was a garbage heap.
The florist behind these spectacular flower flashes recently brought his work here to Nashville. Take a look. Great job.
Joining us now from Lewis Miller Design in New York is florist Lewis Miller.
Lewis.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Beautiful creation.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of fun.
I always call New York a look-up city because you look up and the architecture is magnificent. You look down and it's just rats and roaches and garbage.
Most of us are looking down most of the time.
Right.
We're on our phone or we're looking at the street.
But this gives you a reason to actually appreciate work that's alongside the ground.
Yeah, have these moments where you look up and like, what is this doing here? Complete like random act of joy.
Yep.
Just total surprise.
Where did this idea come from?
It's an idea that had been knocking around in my brain for a couple of years. And I first started doing it about, it was 2 years ago. It was like, what can I do that's sort of like taking flowers in an unusual application, combining that with, after, at that point, like 16 years in business, like, I need to creatively just mix it up a little bit. I need to see something different. Now the world is like, it's just all this Instagram and social media world. There's so many images out there. Like, what's just going to feel fresh and different?
Definitely.
My favorite part about this is the juxtaposition, because you often work with like a terrible-looking aspect of New York City, and you put flower, like the construction site or a garbage can. and you put flowers on
100%. And half the time, Manhattan feels like you're in a set of Legoland because it's just construction and it's
building up,
garbage,
it's all
it's building
building up.
up. Yeah.
It's like the world is your vase, and you just put flowers
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly.
I love
so
it.
why not?
Do you have a favorite installation?
It's a toss-up between one of the trash cans in front of, on Fifth Avenue in front of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which, I'm sorry, I learned from.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
My favorite museum, by the way. I love it.
But I love that one because it is the classic New York City waste bin. It's in front of one of our most monumental piece of architecture. And then the flowers are just, you know, peonies, all the really pretty things. So it's really classic, beautiful. But then I really love the one we did in the meatpacking district. It was construction site, orange barriers, and then just sunflowers. So like, you know, they're not my favorite flower, but then that's what I love about this project is I'll take stuff that may not be the most in vogue bloom, but using this in an application that's completely unexpected.
I'm gonna plant the seed, no pun intended. Statue of Liberty, replace the torch with a bouquet of flowers.
We just, you know, okay, so here's the thing, great idea.
I'll go up to the ladder.
But we have to do it in like 15 minutes or less.
Right.
From a helicopter.
Perfect, just drop them on.
We'll have to Skype you in.
Right.
Ben will be in jail.
You're doing great, you're doing great. Thank you, Lewis Miller, and thanks to Urban Stems for providing the flowers for Lewis's Nashville Flower Flash.
Okay, this hour's loaded with things to brighten your day. We have a woman who vowed to spread the love to those around her every single day last year. We'll find out how her 365 days of love letters changed her life.
That's awesome. And our friend, celebrity chef Cat Cora, is here with a dish that promises to be as delicious as it is healthy.
Yes. Plus, they climbed nearly 200-foot high trees, risking their lives to save scared cats. We'll meet the founders of Canopy Cat Rescue.
Then they met during the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, how the tragedy in Las Vegas brought them together and how they helped each other heal.
But first, we want you to listen to a very special call a 911 dispatcher in Indiana recently received. It's from a little guy who didn't fully grasp what constitutes a 911 emergency. Look at this.
911.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I had a really bad day and, I don't know.
You had a bad day at school?
Yeah, I just came to tell you that.
Yeah, what happened at school that made you have a bad day?
I just have tons of homework.
Oh, okay. What subjects do you have homework in?
Math, and it's so hard.
Is there a problem you want me to help you with?
Yeah, what's 3 by 4 plus 1 by 4?
Okay. So, do you have your paperwork in front of you, your homework?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you do 3 over 4, put that on your paper.
Okay.
And then do plus 1 over 4.
Okay.
Okay. So what's 3 plus 1?
4.
Okay. And then what's, it would be over 4. So then 4 over 4 is what?
1.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was that your only problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry for calling you, but I really need help.
You're fine. We're always here to help.
So sweet. So cute. Joining us on Skype from the Lafayette Police Department is 911 dispatcher Antonia Bundy. Hello, Antonia. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
What did you think when you got this call?
So when he first called in, I didn't hear anything. So I just thought it was a standard accidental dial. People typically misdial 911. They call and they don't know it. So I didn't really think anything of it. When I heard his voice, I wasn't exactly sure what he needed. So then he told me that he needed help with his homework. So I was happy that I was able to walk him through it.
Definitely.
You got to be pretty good at math, because I was trying to do the fraction. I had no idea what he was talking about. You say math was your strong subject growing up, right?
Absolutely. All through school, all through high school, I absolutely adored math. It was my favorite subject. So it was kind of ironic that he got a dispatcher that loved math.
Glad he didn't get us.
Right, I know. Thank you.
I don't know.
He would have failed that class.
Ask your
for
mom.
Sure. Now, you weren't putting any 911 callers at risk to take that call, right?
No, absolutely not. That day we had 6 other dispatchers in the room apart from myself.
Right.
And it was a slow day that day. So one other call on non-emergency came in, and then one emergency call came in. So I was able to dedicate the time to him to help him out with everything that he needed.
Have you met this little boy since?
I have not. He called in on a 911 only number. And so that just basically means he used a phone that had a battery charge, but it didn't have service, so we couldn't track his current location or where he lived.
I hope you guys meet one day. I'm sure you helped him out a lot.
Absolutely, definitely. That was very, very sweet of you to do. That was so kind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Antonia. Thank you for the work you do and for being there no matter what the emergency is, even if it's scholastic.
All right, coming up, true love in the wake of an unimaginable tragedy.
That's next. On October 1st, 2017, a gunman opened fire on concertgoers at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival in Las Vegas. 58 people were killed, more than 800 were injured. It was the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history.
Our next guests were at the concert that day. They went into the festival as 2 strangers. They came out bonded for life. Please welcome Bryan Hopkins and Nicole RUFFINO. Thank y'all for being with us today.
So, Bryan, tell us what you experienced on that day.
Well, on that day, I went to the show with my best friend, Ben. He's my bandmate, and we were backstage with everybody hanging out, and it was crazy because we came out from backstage and we wanted to fanboy out. I mean, you watch Jason Aldean from the front.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not on side stage, but out front. So we made our way out and around the front, and that's when we were out there about, I don't know, it felt like 8, 10 minutes maybe, and I had walked up right behind Nicole and her best friend, Nicole. And we had met briefly the day before. We had taken a picture together, and that's what I remember, and then walked up behind him, and then everything started to happen. And there was what sounded like firecrackers at first, or pyrotechs not going off correctly.
A lot of people thought that's what it was. Yeah.
And Ben had hit me and said, something's going on, and then when we saw people start to run, and then both of us at the same time saw 2 people go down right in front of us. And when I turned, there was 2 people that went down right behind us. And then there was just trampling, and Ben grabbed my shoulder and said, run. And I went with him for about 2 steps, and I looked back, and the 2 young ladies standing in front of me were frozen. And she's looking at me, and I went back and grabbed her hand, and I had lost Ben. He had been ran over at that time. And
You've been trampled.
trampled. Yeah. So
people were rushing.
Exactly.
Running, yeah.
And right when I grabbed her hand, everything slowed down. Like it's like I'm an ex-athlete, so everything just slowed down, like the game slowed down. And I started weaving them through people and going backstage where I just came from. And I remember clearing the corner and making sure that no one was coming at us, and people were following us as well. And that's when we started to run backstage. But yeah, it was crazy because you could hear the bullets hitting what pavement, splatting, and hitting the staging from behind us. And I just kept telling her, stay with me. We're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. I didn't know that that was the case, you know, that we were going to be fine, but just stay with me. Don't leave me. Right. And they never did. So, yeah.
Nicole, yeah. Nicole, what do you remember?
I remember about the same thing. I thought it was fireworks at first. I remember looking around at the crowd and at my best friend wondering, who's shooting off fireworks right now? That's weird. And so I'm looking around just more confused than anything. And then I turn around to Bryan and he's like, let's go. And he takes my hand, and then that's when we started running. And like he said, there were bullets hitting the pavement. But at that time, I was still trying to process what was happening, and it almost was like a nightmare. Like I didn't think it could have been real. So.
And you're never prepared for something like this. You go to a concert to listen to music and be with friends. You don't expect some guy to start shooting the place up. You ran into a refrigerator truck, is that true? You
Yeah,
got hit into a refrigerator truck?
We had come around the corner, and I ran us past tents, which happened to be catering, and there was a fence dividing us and the thousands of people. So we're running along the backstage area, and I see a refrigerator truck, but it was a fence that we saw that was really tall, and I knew I could get over it, but how can I get them over it? And there were people behind us, so I wasn't even aware of that. And then somebody said, get in here, and they opened up the door, and I just started lifting the ladies in, and then the people behind me into this refrigerator, and there were already people inside hiding out. And at one point, I did start to make a video, because I'm looking around, people are calling and texting, trying to be quiet. I went to make a video for my family. I was like, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on. And I stopped the video, realized I'm not gonna die here. This is not where I'm gonna die, you know?
Yeah, and we actually have that video that Bryan shot that day.
We're in this ice cooler right now. It'll be too cold. It's okay. Some sort of shooting or something at Jason Aldean.
Oh.
At that point, I had put my phone in my pocket. Someone had pushed open the door, and you could hear there was a break in the fire, and I said, let's go. I'm not gonna die in here. So I started lifting people out, and I remember saying to her, go, and she's like, I'm not leaving you.
Y'all just met
exactly.
the day before,
like we met briefly, like it was a take a picture together, you know, and
yeah, Nicole, y'all obviously kept in touch since. Very close now.
Yeah. Very. Yeah, it took a while. At first, I was in kind of a place where I'm a very independent person, and I go to work, I go to school. I'm trying to get my second degree right now. So I had my focus there, and I wasn't really worried about being in a relationship. So it took a while to get to where we are now.
Well, we were just there for each other. And what's great, she was writing me poetry. And so I was writing songs. So this whole journey has 5 songs, including the one we're gonna play for you today.
And that's the song you wrote for Nicole, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about it?
A song called Falling For You Bad. And it was my way of expressing, like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, kind of thing, and here we are.
Here's how I feel in the form of a song.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
sharing your story.
Yeah.
And thank you. I know you mentioned earlier you had each other, you took care of each other, but y'all took care of so many other people as well. You helped a lot of people that day.
I wish we could have helped more.
Well, you did a lot, more than enough. All right, coming up, Bryan's bandmate and best friend Ben is here. They're performing the song Bryan wrote for Nicole, Falling For You Bad.
Don't go away. Before the break, Bryan shared his harrowing experience surviving the 2017 Las Vegas shooting, but also how it led him to find love with a fellow survivor, Nicole.
Bryan is here along with his bandmate who also lived through this tragedy, Ben Carey.
Together, they're performing a song they co-wrote inspired by Bryan and Nicole's relationship. Here's Fallin' For You Bad.
I can hear the second hand to the clock that's in my head. Another sleepless night without you lying in my bed. As I lay awake, counting sheep, wishing you were here where my pillow rests. Sunlight's breaking in my room, birds sing their best. I'm at a loss for words with this feeling in my chest. My heart keeps playing a melody that's repeating, makes me wanna dance. 'Cause I'm falling for you bad. This is love, and it's love I've never had. It's so new to me, so heavenly, must be dreaming. 'Cause you take my breath. Poetic thoughts keep rolling off my pen. You consume each one like a song without an end. You highlight sunsets, blue skies, even raindrops are welcome friends. 'cause I'm falling for you bad. This is more than, it's love I've never had. It's so new to me, so heavenly, must be dreaming, 'cause you take my breath. Battle born, a fairy tale with no end. We have a bond to be lifelong friends. Just close your eyes, let love drink you in. I know we're an unlikely story. If you've fallen for me bad, is it love then? Is it love we never had? Is it new to you? Is it heavenly? Are you dreaming? Will you take my hand? I can hear the second hand to the clock that's in my head.
Great job. Well done. Thank you for being here. Great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, thank you, Bryan and Ben. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for being here.
Falling for You Bad is available for download now.
If you want to support other survivors of this tragedy, visit route91strong.org.
We'll be right back.
Falling for you bad. This is love. It's love I never had.
This season, we partnered with Pilot Pen, makers of the amazing, long-lasting G2 Gel Ink Pen, to highlight overachievers, role models, and everyday heroes who go above and beyond.
Our next guest is one such overachiever. Last year, she made an extraordinary New Year's resolution to write a love letter every day of the year to family, friends, and even strangers.
I love this. So sweet. She fulfilled that resolution, and we're happy to have her with us today. Y'all please welcome Jen Kramer.
Hi, Jen.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
We love your heart pin. Very
That's
nice.
right. Carrying
Spread
on
the
the year of
love.
love. That's right.
Yes.
How did this whole thing start?
So I'm not much of a New Year's resolution gal, and on January 1st last year, I sat on my couch like the rest of America thinking, what's this year gonna be about? And, you know, I could have chosen to work out more or read more or drink more water, those things that we all do.
Boring.
But those are boring,
Yeah.
not inspiring. And I thought, let's make this about other people.
Yeah.
And without a whole lot of strategy or planning, I just decided that for each day in 2018, I would acknowledge somebody in my life, family, friends, and otherwise.
Yeah. So you wrote to family, friends, and strangers, total strangers?
I started with family and friends, and it dawned on me then that there were people that needed acknowledging that I may or may not have really ever known. So, you know, I wrote about the man who waters the plants in my office. I wrote about my dry cleaner. I wrote about the guy who serves my coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. And
That's sweet.
it went from there.
What was their reaction?
A lot of people were flattered. A lot of people wanted to know more about it. People said, gosh, let me take this on for myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is really the intention of the whole project.
Definitely.
What is the context of these letters? Can you disclose that?
Of course. Many times it was about just who somebody was for me. You know, they were a couple lines long, maybe a paragraph, nothing extensive, but I sat and I thought through what I wanted to say and who that person was for me and maybe what they were out in the world doing and that I wanted other people to know about.
Absolutely.
People were flattered and really touched because it took some time to sit and really think through that.
Absolutely.
Have you gotten any love letters in return?
You know, it's funny, as 2018 came to a close, lots of people in my community started this for themselves, #YearOfLove, and many of them made it about me, maybe their first post of this year. That was really phenomenal. And, you know, the people that I met while doing it was really what expanded the project. The strangers that I met who aren't strangers anymore, you know, it was really a wonderful context for my year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Bringing people together.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, you've also mentioned that this was healing for you as well. Yeah?
You know, certainly, it certainly opened you to much of what you saw in your day-to-day. You know, there was a woman, one of my most favorite instances, I was on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and it was pouring rain, and she was this petite little elderly gal trying to hail a cab. And I was pulled over to the side of the road, and I said, excuse me, can I offer you a ride? And she kind of looked at me strangely. I said, I'm not a creeper. You know, I'm safe. And
What's
she said,
a creeper?
She said, well, I don't really know what's happening, but sure. Turns out it was her birthday. I drove her the 6 blocks home, and she said, I don't know how long I'll be around, but we're going to be friends for a very long time. Right. That moment was tremendous.
Yeah, just those acts of kindness.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can all do that. We can all take that on. It cost me no money.
Right.
The project was free. It just required a little bit of heartfelt thought each day, and it really made a profound difference for a lot of people.
And it's so simple. You pick up a pen, you write down a couple nice thoughts, and you can affect people in such a wonderful way.
Without even really knowing.
Right.
Right.
And like you said, picking up that woman, and then it leads to doing other kind acts as well.
It was
opening doors, or you know, right.
Sure. She said, I'm interested now in being nice to someone else today. So that mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. I love it. Now, how did this project change you?
You know, certainly it had me looking for love everywhere I went.
Yeah.
You know, there were some days, I'm a human being, there were some days when I was salty or sour or not having a great day.
We all have those,
right? Of course, we're human. But I knew that I needed to look for love, and it just started showing up everywhere I went. You know, the homeless man outside my office, I introduced myself to him, told him about the project, had a girlfriend then get a hold of me once she saw the post. That's Anthony, and she sent him a brand new North Face jacket.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The outpouring of love was tremendous.
There's a movie here. There's a movie script here. I think it's a wonderful concept for a movie. You've got more mail.
You've got love mail.
More mail. Love mail.
Right. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan will be there.
Exactly. Well,
what is next for you?
Yeah, so 2019, you know, I'm really missing doing this. I have to be really honest. It became so much a part of my day-to-day that I'm going to start a website, the Year of Love Project, and other people will get an opportunity to share their experience. It will help other people learn how to do it for themselves and really just keep this little stone rippling out into the universe. So I'm hoping to keep it going.
The potential is there too for, like, you could do calendars, you could do something with like people that you've affected and just spreading the word and everything like that.
That's the intention. Yeah. Keep the love flowing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Jen. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Big thanks to Jen Kramer and Pilot Pen, makers of the G2 Gel Ink Pen. It's the writing tool of overachievers everywhere.
We'll be right back.
Good stuff. Love this story.
Yeah. Just a few days ago, we got a visit from a guest we always love. She's passionate about family and cooking, and she's a world-renowned chef.
We're talking about our friend CAT CORA. Take a look.
Thank you for coming back inside us.
Cool jacket.
Yes.
I thought we matched a little
Yes.
bit.
Very nice.
How's the family? How is everyone?
So good. I mean, you know what? So good. We're just, you know, we're having the best time. Everybody's getting fit and healthy in our household, and health and wellness is something I've always, you know, I studied it in college, got a degree. It's what I've done throughout my TV career, and it really is kind of the way I live my life.
It's your
my lifestyle.
Being your best self.
It's being your best self.
Definitely.
So that's what it's all about. Yes. I love it. I love my life.
What are we making today, babe?
Well, you know what? It's really, this is two of my favorite, you know, dishes right now because I just became the new ambassador for WW.
Yes.
Which was previously Weight Watchers. And so now, you know, Oprah and her team have taken this global brand and just made it all about wellness that works. Right. You know, it's not about weight loss anymore, it's about health and wellness.
Right.
And so I love, these are two of the dishes that I've just put on my, we just opened the first WW cafe, WW Cafe in Brooklyn at Barclays.
Oh, cool.
At Barclays,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
So taking it somewhere where it's unexpected, so we've disrupted the whole market, and we've taken and put this turkey burger and these jalapeno poppers on the menu to rave reviews. So we're super excited about that, and we just opened, so I'm gonna make these dishes for you today.
Awesome.
And we love these. So the turkey burger here, well, I love it with the kids, and Nicole just love it with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I like it with a little bit more in it. So we're gonna add in, I'm gonna have you, Ben, I'm gonna have you do your thing.
I have to touch that?
Yeah, yeah, put your gloves on. So we're gonna add in some garlic and add in a little thyme, because I like a little something in my burgers. I like to, add everything inside.
Right.
So go ahead.
Garlic, you have garlic
got that
here.
little garlic, little minced garlic.
The garlic and there's thyme here.
And thyme.
You don't mince the thyme though. Do you just take the thyme off?
Well, I just take it right off. You don't really need to chop it because it's already so fine. So you can just take it and put it right in. So you're just gonna mix that up really nicely, and it's gentle press.
Oh, gentle press.
Gentle
Sorry.
press.
Not aggressive.
Not aggressive. Don't. A gentle press, because what that does is it actually keeps the moisture as well. People think, especially with turkey, because it's so lean, or ground chicken, you really want to gentle press it, and even with burgers, because it puts some air pockets into the meat and it keeps it nice and tender. Yeah. Cool. So that's why you want it and juicy. So that's where you really want to. That's good. There you go.
I'm a gentle presser.
You are. So you can throw it right on the hot grill.
That's not too thick?
You know what? It depends. Everybody has a preference. Some people love the thinner burgers, and some people like it nice and fat. And I don't mind that. So it's either one of those. So let's put both of those on.
All right. How many points going with the point system? How many points is this?
This is going to be 4 points.
4 points.
This is only 4 points. That's with the bun.
Okay.
The bun is really what has the points in it. Okay. Everything else is 0 points. So with WW, you have your 0 points, and there's about 200 free foods, what they call it. Just foods that have 0 point. And so I'm using here, moving on to, we're going to cook that.
How
That's
long,
about,
by the way?
on each side, it's about 3.5 to 4 minutes on each side. If they're thicker, a little longer, so that's going to be about 15 minutes total. So 12 to 15 minutes.
I always use the meat thermometer.
It's a good idea. If you're not really sure about the pressure points of the burger, it's a good idea to use the thermometer. Just make sure you cook it through, because a turkey burger, chicken burger, they need to be cooked through.
Okay.
And so going back to now, this basil, this creamy basil dressing is so delicious. And this is a Greek yogurt, so we're going to put in. We have in our basil, we have in our spinach, and we're going to add in the yogurt, Greek yogurt. This is a 0%. This is a fat-free Greek yogurt, which is good because it really does has some good protein in it, but 0 calories, 0 fat. I mean, a little bit of calories, 0 fat.
It's like a great substitute for like sour cream and stuff like that.
It's such a great substitute for that. So you can add it for many different things, and it tastes so similar to sour cream. Yep. So we're gonna add in our basil and scallions.
These need to be flipped?
Sure. Not yet, right? 4 to 5 minutes, you said?
Why don't you check them under, see if they flip. There you go. No, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. Okay, let's turn this baby on.
Yeah.
Yes, we did it. Okay, you want to add a little bit of water to it as you go. There we go. As much as you want. Just until it gets nice and it starts pureeing, right? Just enough.
Wow, that looks great.
So then you have this great creamy sauce, which I have here as well.
Nice.
Nice and creamy. And again, you're talking about 0 points in this.
Right.
This is like low calorie, 0 fat, and delicious, but lots of flavor. Because you have the scallion, you have the basil, and you have all of these delicious ingredients in it. So we have the turkey burger. We're going to move down a little bit. We're going to let that keep cooking. Remember the last time we did one of these segments and we had, we all walked down this way?
Yes.
And started catching on fire.
Everything catches on fire. Because you're in the kitchen with Kelly.
It was great.
Right, I know, I tend to burn things.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So a little bit of Parmesan, a little bit of salt and pepper, really super simple. And the Parmesan, because you're making this, and this is a giant batch, I think it serves 10, then again, you're having very low calorie.
But you have a lot of mouths to feed.
I have, I need like triple this.
I could not imagine.
I need a bucket of the sauce.
Yeah.
I make it a bucket at a time.
Right.
And then you have the pickled red onions. And again, it's just pickled red onions, onions that have been pickled with a little bit of, tiny bit of, you can use agave, you can use stevia now, and a lot of people are using those types of, replacements for sugar, and just pickle it. You can sit it overnight. This will last for a week, 2 weeks, and in your fridge, and they're delicious. All right, so here we have it. So this is the spread, and then the jalapeno poppers are so good. Like I said, these are baked, not fried. Cool. We all love jalapeno poppers, right?
I love jalapeno.
And yes, and usually, they're deep fried. Jalapeno poppers. Yeah. But these have a little creamy feta filling in them. You bake them, it's 350 for about 25, 30 minutes. You can walk away, set your timer, and do some other things. And you got these delicious jalapeno poppers. You can dip into, again, a little bit of a yogurt sauce that you can use, Greek yogurt sauce. And then we have our burgers. And this is such a great meal. And again, it's guilt-free.
Yeah.
And you know it's healthy. And who doesn't love burgers and jalapeno poppers? So you get to have what you want.
Yeah.
You get to eat what you want. It's amazing. And I always say, you know, I can take any recipe, I've been doing this for so long, I can take any recipe and make it healthy and delicious. And they're so simple, and you can too. And we're so lucky that we have so many resources now.
Right.
And I think, again, on any program you're doing, but especially with the WW program that we're doing, it's about including family. It's about including community. It's about spreading your support system as far and as wide as possible. It's not just about the individual anymore.
Right.
Because we're all, when you're in a family,
all in this together.
we're all in this together. Right, getting healthy.
Speaking of which, tell us about your show, Family Food Fight.
So Family Food Fight is on ABC. It's a great show. I'm hosting it and judging it with Aisha Curry and Graham Elliott. It's on ABC. It's going to be coming soon.
Nice.
We have it. We've shot it, and we're so excited about it. It's
Great.
going to be a new show for 2019. So check it out. It's going to be
You're
really,
a busy
really cool.
woman.
And it's all about family, food, and love.
Love it.
Which we're all about in our family.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's dig in. I'm going to put a little bit of that. Kelly, you have a portobello there.
Thank you, babe.
And Ben, you have your burger here.
There we go. Thank you so
hand
much.
you
Here,
this.
thank you.
There we go.
Oh, two tiny hands on top of this. So great.
And then you can just put this on. I mean, the sauce is so delicious.
Right.
It gives it a little creaminess. And this can be a good replacement for anything. Actually,
we're
if you love ranch, but you know you don't want the fat and calories, this can be a good replacement as well. You can dump anything you want into it and have this good.
I know Kelly's going to take a huge bite out of that.
Yeah.
But
Go for it.
We got to go to commercial first.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much.
you.
We love having you.
Love having
Great
you guys.
job.
Absolutely.
Now we can
Dig
eat.
in.
Now we can eat.
I know, it's good children taking a bite too soon. Keep an eye out for Kat's new show, Family Food Fight, on ABC.
Next, they've climbed as high as 175 feet of trees to rescue more than 3,000 cats. We're talking to the founders of Canopy Cat Rescue after the break. Imagine this, your cat gets scared and runs up a tree that's nearly 10 stories high. Who are you going to call? Our next guests.
They're the founders of Canopy Cat Rescue and will climb as high as they have to rescue a kitty in need.
Please welcome Tom and Sean.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Hey.
How we doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So how many rescues do you do?
As far as how many rescues we do, it really varies by the season. In the winter time, when it's kind of quiet for us, a quiet month is like 25 to 35 rescues. But in a busy time of the year during the summer, it's can be as many as 70 rescues a month. Last year alone, Tom and I did 501 rescues all across Washington State.
Oh.
What's the highest you guys ever had to climb to rescue a cat?
Yeah.
The highest is about 175 feet. The average cat